guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Sylvia the Nurse Mom, and I'm back again with new content. I know it's been long since I gave you one, and so today I have decided to give you something new, but not so new. It's something touching the health of our babies, and so today I'll be speaking about the difference between the baby-friendly vaccines and the government vaccines, as we all call them, but for the government, we also call them the KP, the Kenya Expanded Program Immunization. So I just want to share with you the the difference, of which it's not that major. But before we get into the topic, kindly subscribe to my channel and also give this video a thumbs up. So let's get into the topic. So uh, vaccines in Kenya are given at birth at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks. And also, there are, as we proceed on, you get to hear babies can get vaccines at a certain age. But I also want to, but first, I want to dwell on the baby-friendly vaccines that are given at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks. The difference between those two types of vaccines, that is the KP and the baby friendly, it's not that major actually. It's something small, but I'd like to clarify to people so that once you have your baby, or if you're taking your baby for clinic, you can have a slight idea of what you're taking your baby in for. So we have the Kenya Expanded Program Immunization. That is the vaccines that were given by the government. um, the health workers know we go get them at the sub counties and take them to our facilities. So those vaccines, we which we give at 6, 10, and 14 weeks, but also we have vaccines that we give at birth, of which they are not different from any. All children get the BCG vaccine, which is against tuberculosis, and the hepatitis B, and the oral polio. I think I had spoken about that earlier on as we were starting this channel. So those are just the same. But now when we come to the 6, 10, 14 weeks, there is a bit difference in the options that parents choose. Because also we say vaccine, it's the choice of the parents. If you want to get the government one, if you want to get the private one, it's upon the parent. That's why we give you a choice for you to decide. So the KP vaccines, we have uh, we have four vaccines that a baby ideally gets. And for the KP, we give the pentavalent. Pentavalent is given on the left thigh, and the penta meaning five, it covers five diseases. That is the diphtheria, we have the whooping cough, we have the tetanus, we have the hemophilus, and the hepatitis B. And then for the other vaccine, it's the pneumococcal, which is in the government one, we call it PCV10. PCV10 meaning it covers 10 spectrums of pneumonia. So we give also that for, and it's given on the right thigh. Those are in injections. And then we do have two oral vaccines. We have the oral polio, the polio that is given when baby is born, and also they get it at 6, 10, and 14 weeks. And also we have the rotavirus. The rotavirus, ideally, it helps in preventing the severe diarrhea and vomiting in children. And those are the vaccines that are given on all visits, except at the 14 weeks. If you get the government vaccine, we have the vaccine that is called IPV, the inactivated polio vaccine, which is an injection. So at 14 weeks, baby usually gets 3 injections and 2 oral vaccines. So we come to what differs when you say you want to get baby friendly. So for baby friendly vaccines, we have the hexaxim meaning 6. So in the baby friendly, the no in the cape we have pentavalent. In the baby friendly we have hexaxim. Hexaxim meaning 6. So here it means the vaccine usually covers six diseases. So that is one difference. There we have now one difference between the KP and the baby friendly. So we have five in the pentavalent, six in the hexaxim. So for the hexaxim, we have the diphtheria, we have the tetanus, we have the hemophilus, we have the hepatitis B, and also in the baby friendly there is the added inactivated polio. So a baby who gets the baby friendly vaccine, they get to have the inactivated polio in all the visits that they make to the clinic. They get the inactivated polio. Unlike for the KP vaccine, that is the government one, they get the inactivated polio only at 14 weeks. So that is one difference. So that we have hexaxim in the baby friendly, we have pentavalent in the KP, meaning the inactivated polio is given at 14 weeks in the KP, and the hexaxim it's always given in the visits that you make to the clinic. So that is one of the difference. The other difference, the pneumococcal vaccine that is given in baby friendly, for KP, it's PCV10, meaning it covers 10 spectrums of pneumonia. But in the baby friendly, we have the Prevena, that is the PCV13, that covers 13 spectrums of pneumonia. So that is another difference. If you opt to get baby friendly vaccines, you will get the PCV13, and in the government one you'll get the PCV10. But you get to have, there are some facilities that only offer, they do half government, half private. Reason being, and now I'm coming to another difference. There is this scenario in which when you take a baby to the clinic, you have the issue of, I took my baby to clinic, they were injected, they cried a lot, and another one will say, I took my baby to clinic, they were injected and they never cried a lot. So the difference comes in the pentavalent and the hexaxim. So for the pentavalent, there is a component in it that makes babies to cry a lot, to be irritable, and to have those side effects of the fever and all that. While in the hexaxim, it has been purified, like it's a cell, then they have removed a part of the cell and put, now they purify it for it not to be so adhesive to the baby. So that's why you find some parents, they prefer to get baby friendly because baby won't get the fevers, the crying a lot, because there is a component in it that has been purified, unlike in the government one that is not purified. That's why you find some babies who get the government vaccines, they tend to cry a lot, they be irritable. But also, we also tell people it's a matter of chance. It's not that it's 100% your baby will get the baby friendly, he or she won't cry. Also, it's a matter of chance. That is something parents need to know. It's a matter of chance, because there are millions of babies who are born in this country, they get the Kenya expanded program vaccines and they are okay, they get into the day and they are okay. And there are those who get baby friendly and they get so grumpy, they cry a lot, they become irritable. So it's a matter of chance. But also, that is a difference in the hexaxim and the KP, that component that has been purified, and that's why it's called baby friendly. And that's why I was saying there are some facilities that they will do the half KP, half baby friendly vaccines. Reason being, they will substitute for the pentavalent. Like, they give the PCV10, but they substitute for the pentavalent, because mostly pentavalent is the one that brings a lot of issues to babies. Pentavalent is the one that makes babies cry and all that. So there are facilities that do the penta, they do the hexaxim and the PCV10. But there are others that do hexaxim and the PCV13, 13 covering the 13 spectrums of pneumonia. So as we've said, we are speaking of just the differences between the baby friendly and the KP vaccine. Another vaccine that has a difference in the program, in the immunization program, is the rotavirus. The rotavirus, ideally in the Kenya expanded program, we have been giving rotavirus that is being taken for 2 doses only. That is the Rotarix. But for the private vaccines, we've been having the Rotatech. Rotatech is given for 3 doses. That is at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks. But the Rotarix, the children have been getting it for 6 and 10 weeks only. But right now, the government is really trying to scrap off the Rotarix, and they want to bring in something new. It's not yet in the market. That's why we have a very big cohort of children who have not been vaccinated with rotavirus vaccine since February, because the government wants to bring something new, something that will be taken for 3 doses. But ideally, in the private sector, also, or in the baby friendly, people have been getting the Rotatech that is being given for 3 doses. So that is also a difference with the baby friendly. Another difference is the cost wise. We get that in most facilities, you can even get the KP vaccines free of charge. But for the private vaccines, you'll have to dig deeper into your pocket to get them, because the vaccines are at your core, at your uh it's for you to source them. So that's why we have the you'll find most facilities that give baby friendly, the vaccines are a bit expensive. So those are some of the differences that we have with the KP vaccines and the baby friendly vaccines. And it doesn't mean since they are different, they are given differently. No, because for the hexaxim, as I've told you, it replaces the pentavalent, so it's still given on the left thigh. For the pneumococcal, it's still given on the right thigh, and the rest they are given orally. And as we proceed, we do also have other vaccines in the baby friendly that are not in the Kenya expanded program. We have vaccines like for the 6 months, we have the flu vaccine that is given at 6 months and 7 months. And you find that it's not in the KP program, it's not in the government program, but we do advise people to go for it. The the flu vaccine. And also at 10 months, we have no sorry for 9 months, it's all in the government program. We do have the measles vaccines. We have the measles that is provided by the government, and we also have the measles that is given by the private sector. It's called Priorix. So it's for anyone to choose. That one has no much side effects. For the measles, it has no much side effects, and it's given on the right upper arm. So it has no much side effect for the measles. It's the one you choose, you just get it. So for 9 months, we have the measles vaccines. We have the Priorix for the private, and we have the measles rubella. It's just measles rubella in the KP program. We also have yellow fever for 9 months. Yes, we do have yellow fever for 9 months. So children who mostly are in the regions where yellow fever is so rampant, they can get the yellow fever vaccine. And also those children traveling, those children who travel with their parents a lot, they are also advised to get the yellow fever vaccine. And once you get a yellow fever, we do give you the card that you have been immunized for yellow fever. But also for the children, we do note it down in their booklets. And then we have the now 10 months, a very crucial vaccine that is not in the Kenya expanded program, but it's advisable for children to get, the meningitis vaccine. Meningitis is a very, very deadly disease, and treating meningitis is really expensive. So it's advised for every child, whether you've gone the KP way or the baby friendly way, to get the meningitis vaccine. Meningitis is given at 10 months, and we also have a booster dose at 15 months. So it's advised that babies to be getting their meningitis vaccines. So parents, be aware there is a meningitis vaccines. And meningitis vaccine, it's expensive ideally, but it's more expensive treating the disease than getting that vaccine. So I advise my fellow parents, try and save up so that you can get your baby to have the meningitis vaccine. So from the 10 months, we now go to 1 year. 1 year in the government vaccines, we do only give the dewormer and the vitamin A, but in the private vaccines, we do have the cholera vaccine, we have the cholera vaccine, we have the hepatitis A vaccine, and we have the chickenpox vaccine. So those are the vaccines you'll get in the private vaccine that are not in the Kenya expanded program, but they are there. And it's advised that your babies to get them. Reasons why we vaccinate ideally, reasons why we also get vaccinated as adults, it is to prevent we prevent ourselves from getting the severity or the severe version of the diseases. It's not that we might not get sick. Some of us get sick from those diseases, but we do not want it to be severe. Yani we make our bodies to have immunity against that disease. So even if it attacks us, we can our body can fight it. Like for the chicken pox, we do vaccinate, and yet you can find people getting it. But also, it does not come in the severe way. They do get the immunity to to fight it in their bodies. So it's advised also to get the 1 year jab for the hepatitis, and also we get the chickenpox vaccine and the cholera vaccine. That is at 1 year. Then at 15 months, I've already told you there is a booster dose for meningitis, and there is also the chickenpox booster dose. So you also get a booster at 15 months for the meningitis and for the chickenpox. And then after that, we now come to 18 months. 18 months, it's also in the Kenya expanded program. We have the measles, rubella 2, and we have the priorix. So it's for one to decide on which one you're getting. So we have measles at 1.5, and that one is also in the Kenya expanded program. So have you have to go for it. And that's why you find many parents who take their children for the KP way, they finish immunization at 18 months. Yes, most parents. But ideally, immunization goes up to 5 years. Annually, we have vaccines that you keep on getting, like the flu vaccine. You can get it annually after you're done with it at 7 months. Be taking baby for an annual flu shot, because babies get flu less serious. So it's advised to be taking babies for a flu shot annually. So, but after 18 months, at 2 years, we have the typhoid vaccine. The typhoid vaccine also is advised for people to get. It's not in the KP, it's not in the Kenya expanded program, but it is there in the baby friendly vaccines. It's there. It's a typhoid vaccine, and it is given at 2 years. So that is just a breakdown of the vaccines that are not there in the KP program, but are there in the private sector. They are there in the baby friendly vaccines, and it's advisable for people to get. Another thing is there is a vaccine that was brought. It has been in the country for quite some time, and it's advisable now for us to be taking our baby girls to get it. We have the HPV, the human papilloma virus vaccine, and it's being advocated for. It's also in the KP program. Girls from 9 years to around 14, we are giving girls, but also I read somewhere that also boys should be given, because also countries like the United States, they are also giving boys the vaccine, because boys are they are the carriers of the virus. So the HPV, the vaccine against cervical cancer, it's advised that people to go and to if you have a baby girl from 9 years, take them to get their doses. The first dose is given, and then the other one you go for it after 6 months. So it's advised for parents also to have note and to take note on that, that we should be taking our children to go and get vaccinated against the cervical cancer virus. So it's being given to uh, girls, and also hospitals like Gertrude's are giving also boys. Yes, so you can take them and they get their shot. Right now, it's everywhere, and people are also getting the card, that you have been vaccinated against it. So it's advisable you take your baby girls to go and get them. So that is also an added vaccine that has come into the program, in the into the Kenya expanded program, and it is also in the baby friendly. It's for you to decide and take your baby for it. And then also we do have other vaccines that have been brought in. We have the malaria vaccine. Malaria vaccine is given at 6 months, and mostly, currently, it's being given in the areas where malaria is so rampant, like the Lake region. But I think also in Nairobi we give, but it's selected facilities. But there is also the malaria vaccine given at 6 months. So that is just a breakdown of the vaccines, and people need to know, even if I've gone the government way, I can also get the baby friendly vaccines, these ones that are added in between. And also another question that parents ask is, I got my baby started with KP, if they can continue with the baby friendly. Like, you started with KP at 6 weeks, you want to know if you can continue, like you're bringing baby back for 10 weeks, you're like, can I continue with the baby friendly? Maybe the baby really reacted with the KP. Yes, you can do KP, and then you go to the baby friendly if baby had a very serious reaction with it. So you can do either. Or if you started with the baby friendly and baby didn't do well with it, you can also go with the KP. So it's for you to just monitor. And then we also advise that, when you give your baby vaccination, most especially the 6, 10, 14 weeks, we advise not to do not be giving babies paracetamol before you take them to clinic. No, because reason being, the baby will not have that, the immunity will not be that strong, because the paracetamol will tend to fight the vaccines. So we let baby be, as long as baby is breastfeeding well after the immunization, and the fevers are not going up to 38, then just let baby be. Just expose the baby. If he or she has a fever, just expose the baby, and let baby feed, and all that will subside. But if the fevers go up to 38, that is only the time we advise you to give paracetamol or Calpol or whatever you want to give. But that is the only time if the fevers go above 38. So if the fevers are not above 38, just expose the baby, let baby be, and let baby feed. They will subside to that, because each and every baby reacts differently. And I also told you it's a matter of chance, not every baby reacts. And so we just have to know our babies. That is all I'll tell you. So that is just the small breakdown of vaccines that are there in the baby friendly, their differences, and what time they are gotten. I hope we've learned something. Hope to see you again next time with new content. Bye bye. It's Sylvia the Nurse Mom. Mwah.